Hello, and welcome back to another video. My name is Regan. I'm a photographer in Oklahoma City, and today I'm going to show you how I recreated this section from Beyonce's Countdown music video. Today I'm taking you behind the scenes to show you exactly what I did and how I recreated this completely by myself alone at home. From makeup to filming to editing, I did it all, and today I'm going to show you how. I'm calling these pop culture recreations. They're kind of like pop culture cosplays. This is my third one so far. Last year I did a Selena Gomez Rare Beauty one, and then I also did a K-pop one later that year as well. So if you haven't watched those, I'll link them above. For copyright reasons, I'm not gonna put the original audio in here, so if you wanna see that, make sure to jump over to my Instagram where you can see it in its best, fullest, most bombastic version. I was so attracted to this video, one, because I love the styling and I love the song. I always have dance parties to this at home, but also I loved how her leotard and her eyeliner changed at the exact same time. But as a photographer, this is really outside of my wheelhouse. I feel very comfortable taking photos and editing those, but editing video is something completely different in general. Because of that, I honestly wasn't sure if I could even do this at all. So I watched two tutorials, one by Premiere Gal and another by this channel I'm really loving lately. I'll put links to both in the description if you want to watch them as well. And I decided to do a test. Sometimes I take on these projects and I'm like, what have I gotten myself into? I got my leotard, I got my hat, I pulled out my water-activated cake liners, and I also got some face paint. The first thing I needed to do was try to recreate her eyeliner. Just did my makeup. On this side, I used a cake liner, and on this side, I used face paint. I don't really like either. This one, it's really like chunky, and it doesn't look good. But this one also dyes your skin, which is another not so good thing. It didn't really matter if I couldn't actually shoot the video. So then I set up my backdrop and I just shot some test footage. And then I took that into the computer. I used the technique from Premiere Gal's video. Essentially, she pulls it into After Effects and she cuts out the face, then puts that back onto the body. This gave me a really good and clean result for the body, but the eyeliner wasn't changing. When I tried to add the eyeliner in After Effects, it didn't work well. So I knew this would be an option, but it wasn't necessarily perfect. I just figured I'd have to spend a lot more time on my final edit. After this test, I also figured that it would be best to use the water-activated cake liner. This one really gave the most pigmented and best result, especially if I needed to edit it in post. Then it came to the fun part, which was learning the choreography. I thought this would be the fun part, but it was actually kind of hard. She moves her shoulders so sharply in this video. You can see in my test, I tried to emulate it, but it was really hard. Like, I know Beyonce is a good dancer, but how does she move her shoulders like that? I use this site called Mirror the Videos, so I just mirrored the YouTube video, and I'm gonna put it at like maybe 0.75 or half speed and try to learn her shoulder motion. She actually switches her shoulder movement halfway through, and that was the hardest part for me to get. It wasn't perfect once I memorized it, but as long as I could see her in my peripheral vision, I could do okay. So I thought that's good enough. After my initial test and learning the choreography, it was time to actually record the real one. I've practiced this look twice. The first time was cute, but it wasn't really quite, I watched the video again and it wasn't quite right. So I'm gonna try it again today with a little bit more of a cut crease. First time I watched the video, I just noticed her colored eyeliner, but now going back and watching it again yesterday while practicing the dance, I realized that she has a pretty strong dark line, like a grayish, blackish line above the colorful eyeshadow. So I'm gonna try to do that as well today, but I mean, like, we just have to see. I'm not a makeup artist at all. I ended up using the water activated cake liner. And the first time I did it, it was pretty chunky. So this time I made sure to make it a lot thinner when I was mixing my colors. And we're done. Look at me. Okay, it looks a little ridiculous with the hat on, so I'm gonna take that off until we're ready to record. Then this time for the lighting, I wanted to get something a little closer to what she had. She has a very strong shadow behind her head, and you can see it on her eyes as well. So they're probably using a very hard direct light. I don't specifically have any video lights, and my studio has a ton of natural light. So what I did is I ended up setting up a V-flat to block out the natural light. See any difference? Kind of. Was that a shadow or a pimple? I grabbed one of my studio lights and turned on the modeling light. This is basically using it as a lamp. It's not flashing or strobing at all. I'm just literally using it like a light bulb lamp. Let me walk you through my final setup. So back here I have the actual background, and then in front of me I've got a light, a V-flat to block the daylight from outside, and then I also set up another reflector to block even more light. That way we can match the light from the video a little bit better. You can see the shadow behind me. I lowered it so that you can see under the hat as well. And then my big trick is that I've set up my laptop behind my camera so I can watch her perform and mimic her movements in real time. So now all we actually have to do is shoot now. Here's how I got around my shoulders not being sharp enough. I recorded the majority of the video at 0.75 speed, and then I planned on speeding it up in post-production. I also recorded the very last clip of the video at 120 frames per second because I planned on slowing it down. So these are a couple of small changes I made while recording, but that do affect the final edit and how it looks. So, drum roll please. The final review! So here's what the footage looked like once I took it out of the camera and put it in. And here is the final! I ended up using an effect called change color. This one was not mentioned in either of the two tutorials I watched, but it ended up working out really well. And that is it! If you have ideas for other pop culture recreations you'd like to see, please let me know down in the comments. This is kind of like a passion project right now. I just do them for fun and to practice new skills. I have some ideas, but I'm always looking for more. And if you want to see more behind the scenes while I'm shooting, make sure to actually follow me on Instagram. I'm sorry I've been so absent on YouTube. I'm working on my Skillshare course, so once that's finished, I hope to be back here a little more often. All right, see you next time. Bye!